Daughter took a DNA test for fun. And 35 years of lies unraveled my life. I'm completely lost, and if I'm being honest, I don't even know where to begin. I'm a 55-year-old man with a 55-year-old wife, and we've been married for 35 years, celebrating that milestone just a few weeks ago. We have 3 children, 2 daughters, aged 30 and 28, and a son who's 25. We've had what I considered to be a solid, loving marriage. We've had our challenges, sure, but we've always communicated, never went to bed angry, and made an effort to keep our connection strong. I'm a hopeless romantic, and I always made sure to keep that spark alive, whether it was through love notes, surprise dates, or just doing little things to show I care. We had weekly intimacy, and honestly, I thought we were in a great place. My wife isn't as romantic as I am, but she loved the efforts I put in. We've always been each other's best friends. I thought we had it all, a happy home, a strong family, and an unwavering bond. I'm also someone who grew up without knowing my biological father. My mother, who raised me on her own, kept that part of her life a secret. She passed away years ago without ever revealing any details about my dad. I've always wondered about it, and so have my children, though they've never pushed the issue. This year, for my birthday, one of my daughters bought me a DNA test from Ancestry. She thought it might be a fun way to discover more about my biological father's side of the family. Before I even took the test, my kids, who had their own curiosity about their bloodline, decided to do the test as well. After all, their genetic link also came from my unknown father. When the results came in, the results were beyond what I could have ever imagined. I'll be honest, I thought it was some kind of mistake at first. My oldest 2 children weren't mine. Not at all. The youngest was, but not the older 2. We all received our results separately, but my kids had been talking about it amongst themselves before they approached me. They all came over for dinner, and I'll never forget how they started the conversation. They told us that they had compared their results, and that the oldest 2 children weren't biologically mine. The youngest was, but the other 2 weren't. I couldn't believe it. I looked at my wife, and in that moment, I knew there was no mistake. I could see it on her face. Terror, guilt, fear, it all hit her at once. The woman I thought I knew, the woman I had loved for over 3 decades, screamed something unintelligible and ran to the bedroom, locking herself in. We all tried to talk to her, but she wouldn't come out. She texted all of us separately, asking us to give her space for a couple of hours. I was in shock, but I complied, even though every minute felt like an eternity. My mind couldn't stop racing. I kept thinking that there must be some kind of mistake. There's no way, right? I raised my kids, loved them with everything I had. I thought they were mine in every sense of the word. After the longest 2 hours of my life, my wife came out of the room. She asked the kids to leave and insisted that she needed to talk to me alone. She promised to explain everything to them once we were done talking. The kids didn't want to leave, but they respected her request. As I sat there, completely numb, she looked me in the eye and dropped the bombshell. She told me, in the most painful words I can ever remember hearing, that she had an affair many years ago. It was with a man from our social circle, someone I knew well, and it lasted for about 4 years. She said she had been young, selfish, and immature. When she realized how much I loved her and how wonderful our life together had been, she stopped the affair. She assured me that she hadn't thought of that man even once since it ended, that I was the love of her life, but the damage had already been done. She then said something that has haunted me ever since. You are my everything. You are my heart. And I made a huge mistake. She begged for my forgiveness, said she'd do anything to make it right, but no amount of words could change what had already been done. The other man had passed away a few years ago from cancer, and I can't even confront him to demand answers. What hit me hardest is that my daughters, the girls I raised as my own, aren't biologically mine. It's a pain I can't even describe. They love me. They still call me dad, but I know the truth now. The man she had the affair with is their real father. That revelation has broken something deep inside me. It makes me question everything. Was our entire marriage a lie? Were the memories I held so dear not real? And to add salt to the wound, I found out that the affair had been kept a secret from me for years, even from the woman who was closest to me. I don't know how to process this. I've been living in a fog of pain and confusion. We've always been a happy family, or so I thought. We've always been solid, the perfect picture of love and respect. Yet it was all built on a lie. My wife doesn't even know what to say anymore. She's staying with her sister now, completely devastated by her own actions. I've asked her to leave, but I haven't made a decision yet on what I want to do. This happened recently, just before what would have been our 35th wedding anniversary. I'd been struggling to make sense of it all. At first, I thought about ending it all, because I can't imagine living this new life. The life I thought was perfect has been shattered, and I'm left feeling like I'm drowning in this mess of emotions. But after hearing from others and taking time to reflect, I'm still here. I haven't gone through with anything, but I'm at a loss for where to go from here. My wife is wrecked by the guilt of her actions, but I can't erase what happened. I'm still trying to figure out if I can forgive her or if this has permanently altered the course of my life. We've started talking about the affair, and while it's incredibly difficult, we both break down emotionally. My heart is broken, but we're talking. She says that if I can't forgive her, she understands, but I'm not sure how to move forward. In the meantime, we've done what we can to keep up appearances for the sake of the kids. We've tried to salvage some semblance of normalcy, but everything feels different now. I keep asking myself if I can find a way back to the life I had. I want to believe that I can, but it feels like the wound is too deep. She protested, but respected my request and left, telling me they would be back if they didn't hear anything soon. I'm just sitting there, completely stunned like I'm in a dream, or watching someone else's life unfold, except I'm living it. Then, my wife says something that has changed me forever. I hope not forever, but it feels permanent. She looks me straight in the eyes and says, I had an affair years ago. It was with one of our close friends, someone from our circle. It lasted for about 3 years until I came to my senses and realized how much I had hurt you. You've always been everything I ever needed, and I was stupid enough to jeopardize it. She takes my face in her hands, pulls me close, still looking into my eyes, and says, I love you with all my heart. You're my soulmate, and this was the biggest mistake of my life. You've been the best husband any woman could ask for, and I hope we can look back at all the good we've had and not let this one stupid mistake define us. I'd do anything to make this right, answer any question. Leave if you want me to, but I'm telling you, I haven't once thought of anyone else since it ended. The man I cheated with, he's no longer alive. We didn't love each other. It was just something that happened, and I thought it would make things better when in reality, it only made everything worse. What devastates me is that my daughters aren't biologically mine. I love them as if they were, and they've always seen me as their father. But now, that biological bond is broken, and it's crushing. They want to know more about the man who is their real father, and it kills me. They've reassured me that I'm still their dad, but we all know it's not the same. What's even worse is that my wife never truly knew for sure either, until the DNA test. What devastates me is the woman I've always respected, loved, and trusted. This incredible partner, mother, and wife betrayed me. She betrayed everything we've built. What devastates me is the haunting question. Was everything I've believed in my adult life a lie? Was our entire marriage a lie? It feels like everything I've known has been torn away, and now nothing seems real anymore. I've always praised her for being an amazing wife, and I never once suspected anything. But she was cheating for years. I had only one brief, awkward experience before her, and then I married her, believing we were building a life together. How do I get past this? It's all so fresh. We're approaching our 35RD anniversary next month, and I have no idea how to even think about celebrating. I asked her to leave, and she's staying with her sister. She is as devastated as I am, but everyone tells me she made a huge mistake when she was young, and that we should try to move forward. Logic says they're right, but my heart isn't listening. I loved my life before this. I loved my wife and kids. Can I ever get back to that? Or has this revelation permanently altered everything? Right now, I feel lost. I'm in so much pain, and I don't know what to do with it. I thought I could never forgive, but I'm struggling with the thought of living without my family. This feels like a nightmare. I've even considered ending it all if I can't move on from this. I don't want to live. I researched the legalities, looked into life insurance, and thought it through. My wife and kids would be financially okay, but that doesn't fix the pain. My relationship with my daughters is different now. We all say we love each other, but we're all trying to convince ourselves. They tell me I'm still their dad, and I appreciate that, but it's just not the same. How can it be? What devastates me is how something as simple as a DNA test has unraveled a lifetime of trust and love. My wife had planned to keep this secret forever, but the test exposed everything. The only other person who knew was her sister. This secret has haunted her, and she said it's something she deeply regrets. I'm also trying to process the fact that the man she cheated with is gone. It feels like a missed opportunity to confront him, to look him in the eye and understand why he did this to me. I don't know how to heal from this. The man's family has been informed, and I feel it's only right to share this with them, especially for the sake of my daughters. It's been hard for all of us. My daughters have met half-siblings they never knew about, and while they're kind and loving, it's also surreal. I know they love me, but it's hard to shake the feeling that everything's changed, that nothing can ever be the same. I hope one day I can look at them with the same unconditional love, but right now, it's too much to bear. It's just not the same anymore. My children aren't my flesh and blood. They never were. These days, it's my wife who's suicidal. She's devastated that this secret has caught up with her. She hoped to carry this guilt and shame to her grave, accepting it as her penance for what she did all those years ago. She'd say things like, "You're too good for me. Why are you so good to me? I don't deserve you." She'd also say, "I'm a horrible person. I don't know why I was blessed with a husband like you." At first, I thought it was just her low self-esteem talking. After all, she's been an incredible wife and mother, but I now see it was the weight of her guilt. One of my primary goals in life has been to be the husband she deserved. I always put my family first. I passed on promotions and better paying jobs to be present for them, even if it meant financial sacrifices. We weren't rich, but we had enough. What mattered most was the time we spent together. I always thought that was what mattered. Now, this family I cherished more than anything is not entirely mine. My daughters, the apples of my eye, are not biologically mine. Looking back, I see how it all makes sense. My wife has confessed it all. She'd been living with this secret for so long, but she couldn't carry it any longer. She has been doing everything in her power to make it right, reading about how to heal, and offering to do anything I ask. She's crushed, unable to even face our children, who looked up to her with such admiration. It's heartbreaking to see her in this much pain, not just from being caught, but from knowing how deeply she hurt the family she built. We were so young when we married at 20. Then we had our first child. We became husband and wife, mom and dad, at a time when most of our peers were out having fun and living carefree. I never minded. I wanted to be with her, but she says she was so young, spoiled, and selfish. She felt resentment that she was off the market so soon. While her friends were still getting attention, she admits she didn't think about how her actions could hurt us. But she never regretted marrying me. She says neither of them ever talked about leaving their families, but their affair was an escape, a way to feel something they thought was missing. Now, she knows how foolish it was. She says it was all her fault, her stupidity, her selfishness, her immaturity. She tells me I didn't deserve any of it, and if I can't be with her anymore, it would kill her, but she'd understand. She says she will love only me until her last breath. I can see she's trying to make amends. Her sister has told her it's time to face the consequences of her actions and be completely honest about everything. She's trying, but it doesn't make it any easier. One thing that bothers me, though, is how everyone is treating me, my wife, my children, even people who know about this. They're all acting like I've been given a terminal diagnosis. They don't know what to say, so they're overly sympathetic. I get it. I wouldn't know what to say either. Yesterday, My wife asked if I wanted to acknowledge our anniversary. She suggested we go out, do something nice for me, but she understood if I didn't want to. I told her we're still going to our favorite Mexican restaurant, just like we've done 4 years. After all, we've made it to 35 years. Even if we now have new challenges to face. That made her smile briefly, but then she broke down sobbing. She does that a lot now. Her sister has told her to stop, but it's hard for her. I've had time to process all of this. I've looked at it from every angle. What my wife did was stupid and cruel. It breaks my heart in ways I didn't think were possible, but I know my heart will heal. Life is a balance of joy and pain. This is the painful part, but there will be joy again. I've done my grieving. I've thought long and hard about the next steps. Tomorrow night, I'm going to sit down with my wife and tell her she's been a wonderful wife and mother. She's the best partner I could have asked for. Someone to share the highs and the lows of life. I'm going to remind her that since the moment we met, she's always had my heart. I've loved her every single day, and I still do. I'm grateful for her. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell her I forgive her for the foolishness of the past, and I will always love her for the woman she is now. We'll cry together, comfort each other, and then we'll go to dinner. Maybe we'll see the new version of A Star Is Born and enjoy what we can of the evening. Our anniversary may be different this year, but it's still our anniversary. I will continue to love, honor, and cherish my wife as I always have, and she will do the same for me. I'll love my children, as I always have since the day they were born. I'll be strong, I'll be the leader they need, and I won't shy away from helping them through this. I will not speak of the affair again. I know what happened, but I can't change it. We'll move forward, together. I won't let this destroy us. And as strange as it may sound at 55, I think we've just grown up. This has been the hardest experience of my life, and I'm sorry for anyone who's going through something similar. It hurts. But I'll tell you this, don't let it destroy you, as I almost let it destroy me. Stay strong, and good luck.